Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by my channel. Definitely appreciate you all taking time out of your day to pay me a visit. Happy New Year as well. It's January 10th, 2022. This winter is going by pretty quick. I wanted to take some time at the start of the year to kind of explain what I'm hoping to get done and where to go. All that good stuff. Everything that I'm hoping to have happen in 2022. First and foremost, though, I definitely want to thank each and every one of you viewers as well as subscribers. Just sitting about 320 subscribers right now, and the number of views that I get every time I log into the YouTube app is just astounding. I never really thought I'd be where I'm at right now, so it's really encouraging and really awesome to see. So thank you all that are a subscriber and a viewer. Um, so, this is my third year going into this YouTube channel. It's kind of been an adventure so far. That first year in 2020 really kind of put a lot of things in perspective. I was learning a lot, kind of trying to find that balance of having fun while fishing, but also recording content that was hopefully enjoyable. Um, I think I struck a pretty good balance in 2020. It essentially equated to one trip I'd go out and record content. The next trip I'd go out with family, friends, somebody like that, just go have fun. Um, and that's something in hindsight that I really kind of lost track of in 2021. 2021 was an awesome year for fishing. Had a lot of awesome trips. Uh, I just didn't go on nearly as many trips with family and friends. I had a few big, trips there with family, and that was really fun. A lot of cool adventures with that. But when it comes to like weekend trips and day trips, I didn't have nearly as many as I normally do, and it's not what I wanted to have happen when I started this YouTube channel. So one of the things I'm going to be kind of reevaluating, refocusing on is finding that balance of making sure that I am, spending that quality time with family and friends, going out and fishing, and hopefully I'll be doing an equal amount of recording content as well. But when you have somebody in the back of the boat, you can't really use the YOLO Tech camera mount, which that's personally my favorite view on these videos. But so we might just experiment with some new camera angles and things like that. But I definitely want to make sure that I'm going out with family and friends. I only went out with my buddy Steve once last year. I think I can count the number of times I had my dad in my boat on one hand. Just not the way that I want it to be. So definitely gonna refocus on that. Some other things that I kind of want to do this year. Big one that I really want to do, and I think I'm gonna have a few opportunities to do it, is to not get back into fly fishing, because I always do fly fish a handful of times every year. It's like musky fishing though. I just don't have the patience for it long term. I'll go out fly fishing or musky fishing for a few hours and get bored, and then just go back to normal bass fishing because I have a lot more luck doing my normal bass fishing and stuff like that. It's a lot more fun to me. But definitely do want to get out and do some more fly fishing. Um, Definitely want to try my luck at some more musky fishing as well. Um, One thing I want to do, just as like a point to myself, and one thing that I did last year was had a lot of surprise catfish. um, and you guys called me out on it. I never really have appreciated catching a catfish. And I caught two of them that were just shy of 10 pounds, one flathead and one channel cat, actually off the same tree in the Fox River, oddly enough, on a few different trips. But, that kind of hit home that, yeah, I really don't appreciate, you know, catfish, carp, any of these fish that really aren't bass or muskie or any of these normal sports fish. Um, and I haven't really ever given them a fair shot. I've snagged carp before. I've caught catfish and always hoped that they were big bass, and when they turn out to be catfish, I was always a little disappointed. And that shouldn't really be anyone's natural response when you're fishing. You're going out to fish to have fun, and if you you have a big fish on the end of your line and you get disappointed when you find out what kind of fish it is, that I don't even know how I'm at that point. It's just a little too elitist, so I think I need a dose of reality. So I want to spend a few days this year focusing on catfish. I'm in a few different Facebook groups for Northern Illinois, and there's a lot of people that have given some advice for catfish. So I think I'm going to take that knowledge and go put it to the test and see whether, in the back of my mind, I always think that, like catfish and carp, it's easy to do. Just go get a dead bluegill or something and go throw it out there. I'm sure there's more to it, so I'm hoping to go find out on my own. It's something I kind of need to prove to myself, I think. Anyway, I'm going to go do a few days of catfishing, I think. Those are kind of like some minor goals that I have this year. In some of the last videos I've put out, I've kind of made it clear that I've been pretty indecisive as what I'm going to do as far as a fishing platform this year. As some of you may know, that my lovely 16-foot 1982 Bass Tracker 3 sank in September. My last day along lake. Found out there's like a 4 or 5 inch crack in one of the welds. On the side of the boat. That, along with the really heavy rains that we got that night, sank the boat. The boat was one of those things that, like, 16 foot's a good size. I like it. But for the type of fishing I like doing, I'd like to kind of expand and do more tournament fishing. And 16 feet it's a doable platform. It's just a lot more challenging. Ideally, I'd love to have an 18-foot boat to fish off of. And I really kind of have my heart set on an 18-foot jet boat. I don't think this is going to be the year for it, though. I've just got a lot of other things kind of going on. One of the big things as well, I've had larger, older boats that have sat outside, even underneath a cover. And if they don't sit in a garage, I feel like they deteriorate pretty quickly. So I'm going to have to do some house stuff first before I can get a bigger boat. So what I'm going to do this year is add some flotation pods to that boat. I'm a big guy. That little 16-foot boat, I think like the legal Coast Guard plate only puts it at like 550 pounds or something crazy like that. It's not a lot. So by myself, it's fine, but when you add another person in the boat and then a live well full of fish and water, it's pushing the limit. So adding some float pods, I think, will give me that extra flotation that I need to be able to do a few tournaments and just be a little bit more comfortable, less nervous having another bigger guy in the boat with me. So we're going to do that. One of the other things that I want to do that I told myself if I was going to keep that boat is I'm going to look to get a nicer kayak. I've got a little 10-foot Menards Viper 10.2 right now. It gets the job done. It's not a bad kayak. The major issue with that kayak is the seat. The seat is horrible. I can maybe spend about 3 hours in that kayak before it's unbearable. So I'd like to get like a 12-foot kayak that I can go put my power pole on, the power pole micro, and like a little small depth finder on it. Just a nice little platform that I wouldn't mind spending an entire day out. I'm going to try to budget around $750, $800. So if anyone's actually out there selling a kayak about that, either a 10 or 12 foot somewhat nice kayak. Doesn't have to be a pedal drive or anything like that. Nothing fancy. Um, Let me know. Feel free to reach out to me. You can find my email address in the about, or you can find me on Instagram, BTM Bass, on Instagram as well. Feel free to reach out to me if you're selling a kayak or you know somebody that has a kayak for sale that kind of fits those needs, because I will definitely be looking to get one of those before March. So that's the boat plan. So what am I doing this year? I got a few different things planned, but my first major thing that I've got planned for this year is a little different. As some of you may know, I paint a lot of lures over the winter. That's the only way that I keep my sanity and really kind of starve off cabin fever. So I've been painting a lot of lures. I'm selling a few of them here and there on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. But in March, there is a fishing flea market that the Chicagoland Muskie Hunters put on. It's a really awesome thing that they put on. It's at the Rolling Meadows High School. This year it is March 5th. I'm going to be getting a table there to sell some of my lures, sell some of the old stuff that I just don't use anymore, different soft plastics and lures that I just don't use. I'm going to share that table with my buddy Russ over at Addicted Angling. We haven't really coordinated what we're going to be selling. I know what I'm going to be selling. Russ makes soft plastic lures. He ties jigs. He does a whole lot of different things with his Attitude lures, which are some really awesome things. If you guys haven't checked out Addicted Angling on YouTube, or Attitude Lures. I'm pretty sure it's Attitude Lures. Don't quote me on that, though. Anyway, we're going to have a table, so feel free to find me. If you guys go to that fishing flea market, you can go to Chicagoland Muskie Hunters. I have a website. I don't know whether it's a .com or .org, so just search Chicagoland Muskie Hunters. I'll be there at some table. I haven't gotten any details about anything yet. I'm really hoping with COVID that things are on the upswing by March and they don't cancel it. There's a lot of fishing expos going on this month of March or this month of January, or at least I should say there was. Some of the major ones have gotten canceled or just reduced in size. I've been skipping most of them, just choosing to miss those. But hopefully by March we won't have to worry about COVID as much, and that fishing flea market will take place. So that's the first major thing that I'm doing. Where do I want to go? What am I looking to do this year as far as destination wise? Obviously I'm going to be fishing the Fox River a whole lot, and in regards to the Fox River, my normal stomping ground is the Carpentersville pool, which is that Carpentersville Dam to Algonquin. The Carpentersville Dam is slated to get removed this year. Last I checked, everything is on track for that. I imagine that they're going to have to wait for low water, so I imagine that dam's not going to get removed until probably late summer. So I'm hoping the first half of the year it's going to be business as usual fishing that pool. But once they get rid of that dam, I don't know whether that boat ramp is going to be usable or whether the water level is going to drop enough that my outboard is going to survive running that stretch. That's one of the reasons I really kind of wanted to get a jet boat. We'll have to see how that pans out, though. Anyway, so yeah, Fox River obviously is going to be a major area that I'm still going to be fishing. April, I've only got one trip concretely planned so far, and that's in April, and that's going down to the Smoky Mountains, around Gatlinburg. I'm actually going to be staying in Pigeon Forge. I went down there about 4 years ago with my dad. We were fishing the Pigeon River, the Pigeon River. It was either the West Fork or the East Fork. There's some kind of fork involved with the Pigeon River. I don't remember, but the smallmouth fishing was awesome. I absolutely loved it. I enjoy wading, and that was a different adventure wading that river. So that I'm going to be doing that. I'm probably going to go into the national park as well and try my hand at fly fishing for trout in there. I haven't decided how long I'm going to stay down there yet. I might extend that trip and maybe look to hire a guide that runs a jet boat. I've never actually even been on a jet boat. They look awesome on all the YouTube videos I've seen. Ottafo, if you guys are looking for some really fun river jet fishing stuff, Ottafo has some really awesome content in that regard. Yep, we got that planned. Again, hopefully with everything going well with COVID this year, my dad and I and our group of friends that normally go to Canada, we're going to try to get there ASAP. We want to get up there absolutely as soon as possible, as soon as that border opens and the fishing season opens. We go up to Pigeon Lake on the Kawartha Channel Lakes. It's about an hour northeast of Toronto. Absolutely awesome place. Super important place to me. I've been going there. My family's been going there before I was even born, and I'm 34 years old. So holds a lot of importance to me. So I definitely want to get back up there. So we're aiming to go there in June. Bass season, I think, typically opens third Saturday of June, so that's probably when we're gonna go. But that's high on the list. As some of you guys might know, I've mentioned, I think, a handful of times, I am part of a small club here in Northern Illinois. It's a FLW affiliated club, and just small, like, social tournaments. Normally our tournaments are like 5 to 7 boats at best. So I'm hoping to fish a few of those out of my boat. And a lot of the times we're going to the Mississippi River at Pool 13, which is by Thompson, Illinois. That's a lot of fun. Prairie du Chien, a little fun note. I actually fished Prairie du Chien last year out of my boat for our July tournament with my buddy Mark. Mark, if you're watching this, awesome job again. We actually won that tournament out of my boat because that little bass boat of mine was able to go back into a slough that we thought nobody else would be able to get back into, but actually at the end of the tournament day, there was one other full-size bass boat back in there, but it was a pretty gnarly area. So I want to get back out to Prairie du Chien, as well as La Crosse. Probably hit that with my tournaments, but if not, I'll definitely be swinging by those areas on a separate trip. Like to go there. Few other areas that I haven't ever tried out, but I've heard a lot of good things about. The St. Joe River in Michigan. I've actually driven over the St. Joe River when I went up to the Muskegon River. I've heard a lot of good things about the smallmouth fishing there. I've actually seen a few YouTube videos on it as well. I think that would be a really fun destination. And speaking of the Muskegon River, definitely want to get back up to the Muskegon River with my dad. He's got a buddy up there that lets us stay in his camper trailer. Really awesome guy. So we'll probably get up to the Muskegon, especially now that we know there's muskie up there. That's really cool. So we'll probably focus on muskie a little bit when we get up there. But really the last spot that I really want to try out for the first time is the Wisconsin River. I've fished bits of the Wisconsin River before. I fished Lake Wisconsin. We actually had a tournament on Lake Wisconsin years ago. I remember it was pretty fun. Just a lot of small fish. But last year when I did La Crosse, I actually stopped at Castle Rock for 2 days and got skunked. I think that might have been the only time I've ever gotten skunked last year was on Castle Rock when bass fishing. But I tried out the peat well flowage, caught a few fish on that. Unfortunately, all of that footage got corrupted. That's why I never had a video on that. But trying the peat and well flowage might be kind of cool, but the area that I really want to try out is below Lake Wisconsin. That whole stretch from the Wisconsin River down to the Mississippi has always fascinated me. Um, I've heard that most of the stretches, a decent amount of the stretch, would be fine for my boat. With a prop on there, I just need to be careful. I've canoed it around Sauk City before. And I distinctly remember going from something that was more than 3 feet deep, because you could put your paddle all the way down to the ground and not feel anything, to about 2 inches of water in a blink of an eye. So that's got me a little bit nervous about taking my boat there. That's why I haven't been there yet. But I might give it another try. Or not another try, but might give it a shot. So that's on the list. My last thing, I kind of want to leave things open-ended. If you guys have any recommendations for really anywhere in the Midwest, actually even the Northeast too, I might make a Northeast swing up by Pennsylvania at some point this year. I actually got an extra week of vacation this year, so I'm up to 5 weeks of vacation, so I'm going to have plenty of time to go out exploring. So, if you have any suggestions for primarily rivers, I love river fishing. That's something that I grew up never doing. I grew up on the Fox River, and I was always told that there are only three-eyed fish in the Fox River, so I never fished it. And having been fishing it now for probably 10 years, I love it. I love river fishing. It's so much more fun than a lake. So if you have any lake, or if you have any rivers that you think would be a good fit for a kayak or my 16-foot boat with that prop on it, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Also, full disclosure, whatever you're suggesting, be okay if I find a spot on that river that I'm gonna, put it in a video and share it with everyone. So you can hold that tight to your chest if you don't want to give out those suggestions. But I would love some suggestions for anything around the Midwest area, Ohio, Pennsylvania area, that might be good for smallmouth, or muskie, or largemouth, anything in between. So thanks everyone if you stuck with me this length. I know I rambled a bit. This was definitely a longer video than I anticipated, but I'm stoked. Absolutely stoked for 2022. I hope it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a good year. So, yeah. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the next video. And, hey, maybe I'll see you guys face-to-face at the Fishing Flea Market in March. So, thanks again. See you all next time.